The NFL has opened an investigation into the allegations made by Cleveland's ex-coach regarding games being deliberately lost. Let's get into it. Investigation into Hue Jackson's allegations. The Browns have talked with an NFL investigator investigating charges made by the team's former head coach, Hue Jackson, that Cleveland purposely lost games in 2016 and 2017. Jackson, who is now the head coach at Grambling State, was sacked by Browns owners Dee and Jimmy Haslam 8 games into the 2018 season after posting a 3-36-1 record. Jackson said in a series of social media posts in February that the club offered him bonuses in order to incentivize him to lose and that he was set up to fail. Jackson eventually backtracked on such assertions. In 2016, the Browns finished 1-15, and in 2017 they finished 0-16. The team's dismal performance helped them gain the first overall choice in the 2017 and 2018 draft, which they utilized to choose outstanding college players Myles Garrett and Baker Mayfield. NFL spokesman Brian McCarthy said the league hired former Securities and Exchange Commission head Mary Jo White to investigate Jackson's accusations. McCarthy said in an email that the evaluation is continuing and is expected to be completed shortly. The team says they are fully cooperative on the matter. On Monday night, the team issued a statement indicating it had engaged with the league on its investigation. Team spokesperson Peter Jean-Baptiste said that even though Hue recanted his claims shortly after they were made, they felt it was necessary for them and the integrity of the game to have an independent examination of the charges. So they welcomed an inquiry and are convinced that the findings will demonstrate, as they have consistently maintained, that these claims are totally incorrect. They cooperated with Mary Jo White and are looking forward to the results. Hue Jackson interview with CNN. Former Cleveland Browns coach Hue Jackson confirmed in an interview with CNN on Friday night, 4th of February, that he was never paid to lose games, but claimed that proof that team, ownership, and officials meant to lose during the 2016 and 2017 seasons will come to light at the right time. Jackson told CNN that he was never offered money like Brian Flores said, and he believes this is a completely different case, yet there are some similarities. Brian Flores. On Wednesday, Jackson and Kimberly Dimart, executive director of the Hue Jackson Foundation, which works to prevent human trafficking, began tweeting in response to Flores' lawsuit against the NFL and 3 teams, the Miami Dolphins, Denver Broncos, and New York Giants, alleging discrimination in his interview processes with Denver and New York, as well as his firing by Miami last month. Flores also claimed in the complaint that Dolphins owner Stephen Ross tried to motivate him to lose games on purpose immediately after he was hired in 2019, giving Flores $100,000 for every defeat that season. Jimmy Haslam's alleged 4-year plan. Jackson tweeted that Browns owner Jimmy Haslam was thrilled while they were losing and referred to the financial amount he reportedly received from Haslam after every defeat as, quote, "believe me, it was a nice number," unquote. Later Wednesday, Jackson informed ESPN Sports Center that the Browns had a, quote, 4-year plan, unquote, that encouraged losing the first 2 years. Extra money was available if specific measurables were reached, such as aggregate rankings, being the youngest team, and having so many draft selections. He said the strategy was responsible for his 131 record in 2016 and 2017, which earned Cleveland the #1 overall draft pick in back-to-back years. Haslam's response. Haslam responded to Jackson on Thursday, telling the Knoxville News-Sentinel that Jackson has never accepted accountability for one thing and that the idea that he bribed Jackson to lose games was an utter fabrication. Jackson told CNN that he wasn't paid to lose games, but he had proof to back up his accusations that ownership and Browns management meant to lose games. He said that he told Jimmy that what he was doing was incredibly harmful, that he shouldn't do it because it's going to destroy his career as well as every other coach that worked with him and every player on the team. He also went on to say that he warned him it would be detrimental to any black coach who would follow him and that he has the documentation to prove it. When asked why he hasn't released the proof, Jackson stated that those things will come to light at the right time. NFL news. Alexandra Davis takes back case against father Jerry Jones. The lady who sued Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones last month, saying that he is her biological father, has dismissed her complaint. She She, on the other hand, isn't giving up on her claim to be Jones's daughter. Instead, she intends to utilize DNA testing to officially establish Jones is her father. Jay Gray, one of Davis's lawyers, told the Dallas Morning News that Alexandra has just chosen that she wants to go ahead and go with parentage and DNA testing. She wants to dispel any doubts that Jerry is her father. Davis first filed the case on March 3rd, stating that her mother, Cynthia Spencer Davis, had a connection with Jones in the 1990s and that she is the offspring of that relationship. Spencer Davis met Jones in 1995 while working as an American Airlines ticket agent in Arkansas, according to ESPN's Don Van Natta Jr. The claimed goal of the action was to demonstrate that Davis is not legally bound by a settlement negotiated between her mother and Jones, which specified that Jones would financially support both mother and child as long as Jones was never publicly named as the father. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, switching from wide receiver. When the Eagles' offseason program kicks into practice on April 25th, a former second-round selection will take the field in a new position. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside hopes to switch from wide receiver to tight end, according to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport on Friday. The Philadelphia Inquirer's Jeff McLean broke the news first. Arcega-Whiteside was the 57th overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. Arcega-Whiteside was a Stanford wide receiver prospect who was expected to be a starter after a stellar collegiate career at the time. Half of Arcega-Whiteside's 28 collegiate touchdowns came during his senior year, complementing a 1,059-yard season. The trade makes perfect sense for a guy who has struggled to live up to his Day 2 pricing on Selection Day 3 years ago. Arcega-Whiteside, who stands 6'2" and weighs 225 pounds, is a big-bodied receiving threat. In the build-up to the 2019 NFL Draft, NFL.com draft analyst Lance Zierlein labeled him as a guy who becomes more dangerous closer to the red zone and who will not be run by many NFL cornerbacks. When you add the bow of Arcega-Whiteside being a former All-State basketball player, the package starts to look a lot like many tight ends who have found a home in the NFL. Hue Jackson leaning on retirement. Following 14 seasons in the NFL, one of the league's quickest players may be nearing the end of his career. Hue Jackson, a three-time Pro Bowl wide receiver and one of the finest deep threats of all time, is leaning toward retirement unless the perfect match presents itself. Jackson stated in an interview with Sports Illustrated's Ashley Nicole Moss that he's not sure if he's going to play next year. He says he knows he had announced that he was going to play, but it simply has to be the perfect match for him to stay. He believes his career has been one hell of a ride. That journey most recently brought him to Las Vegas, where he played 7 games for the Raiders in 2021 after starting the season with the Los Angeles Rams. Jackson and the eventual Super Bowl winner Rams were not a good fit, which led to Jackson requesting and securing his release. He signed with the Raiders, his 6th team in his NFL career after previously playing for the Philadelphia Eagles, twice, Washington, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jackson combined for 20 receptions for 454 yards, 22.7 yards per catch, and 2 touchdowns with the Rams and Raiders, indicating that he still has the legs to be a game breaker. Cam Akers still disappointed in his performance. Cam Akers' comeback from a ruptured Achilles tendon last season was nothing short of miraculous for the Los Angeles Rams. Akers tore his Achilles tendon before the season but was able to play in the Rams' Super Bowl victory. Not only did the 22-year-old come back from an injury that normally takes a year to recover from, but he also led the Rams to a 4-game postseason run to the Lombardi Trophy. The Super Bowl, though, lacked gravity, according to Akers, since he wasn't at his personal peak. Akers returned for the last game of the regular season, gaining 3 yards on 5 carries. However, his return was more than just a cameo for a popular player. Throughout the postseason, Sean McVay relied on Akers as his primary back. Through the Rams' 4 postseason games, Akers led the team in rushing with 67 yards on 67 carries. He's still not happy. Sure, Akers lacked speed and was blocked at the line in the playoffs, averaging just 2.57 yards per attempt. But given what he went through simply to come back so soon, he played a significant impact in the team's Super Bowl run. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think the allegations could be true? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.